welcome back to my channel. Yes. Quite a bit of transfer news to get through, but first, let's get through chat here. In fact, you don't need to see this for me to read chat. Hello, big up to him. I did see the news about Stankovic. It's no news at all, really, because nothing's confirmed. It's just all of words. No news at all there, really. I don't know why no one has commented yet, but big up to the Liam raid anyhow. I'll see that it's quite a few likes anyhow, so even if you don't comment, hitting the likes, hitting subscribes, little effort, and it gets the stream pushed. In fact, if you like a YouTuber here and you want to push their stream, just type bump into the chat like this here. Just type that into the chat of a streamer you like, and if enough people do that, it will actually give, it will count as an interaction to the streamer. And it will boost the stream. There you go. You don't even need to comment anything meaningful. Just hit the likes, subscribe as always, and just type anything in the comments. Really, it doesn't have to be meaningful. So I do prefer meaningful comments, and don't spam either. Anyhow, I'm waffling. Let's actually talk about transfer news here. So, first thing is something I want to talk about with a grain of salt here. That is Nottingham Forest allegedly prepared to sell Morgan Gibbs-White to City. Personal terms agreed upon already. I don't know if that's true or not. But one thing to note is that Stolmy saying this. Stolmy is a notoriously terrible source. Furthermore, the Premier League is going to come between the deal between Nottingham Forest and Spurs right now. If you don't know what happened, Nottingham Forest had a release clause in the contract of Morgan Gibbs-White. However, Spurs contacted the agent of Gibbs-White without sending a written notice to Nottingham Forest, which is the custom in the Premier League. You are required to send a written notice, I believe 5 or 7 days before contacting a player, to the parent club before you contact a player's camp. Allegedly, Tottenham Hotspur did not respect this and contacted Gibbs-White without any notice to Nottingham Forest, which means that any contact was obviously illegal if that is true what happened. So them triggering the release clause would be invalid because they acquired that information through illegal ways. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. That's the story. The Premier League is coming in between that deal to decide whether the release clause is still valid or whether it is null. So that's the situation. Now, I know Spurs, nobody cares, but it does matter. If the Premier League decides the release clause is still valid, then Spurs will get him. It's that simple. If the Premier League decides the release clause is null and void, Tottenham Hotspur could still go and pay 80 million if that's what they value Gibbs-White at. And they would still get him, I think. Now, if neither of that happens, let's say the release clause is nulled and Spurs doesn't pay up the extra money that Forest demand, does City go in and get him? Maybe. But this seems like very, this is ITK news. You know what I mean by that? This is the type of news that ITKs report to look like they've got insider information. They take known stories, they take stuff from the past, and they try to link it together, and they try to look like they know something. And it makes sense because all the lines connect, except there's a wall between those dots. And they've just removed it, if you get what I mean. So is this going to happen? Listen, I like Gibbs-White. A lot of Man City fans don't like him. I like Gibbs-White. I know I've got a video on why I don't want Gibbs-White on my channel, but I do like him as a rotational player. So if you get him for that, I'm fine with that. In fact, I would love that. An extra homegrown midfielder in there means you can get rid of Kovacic as well. Homegrown is even better. That means you can keep Echeverri. Otherwise, you'd have to send him out on loan for a year and bring him back when Bernardo Silva leaves. So I would like Gibbs-White, don't get me wrong. I just don't think it's happening. But if it does happen, Fair enough. I'll be happy with that. Anyhow, that was the boring news. Now let's get to the interesting stuff. Hello, big up to Rosa, how are you? Big up to Adam as well, how are you? This weekend is the start of the Belgian League, indeed. Hit the likes. Yes, hit the likes. What is a Christian Burgess? Washed, bro. James Trafford is a good keeper, but I'm not sure about him being, your number one. Listen, you watch the championship, I don't. I heard a lot of conflicting stuff from championships fans, but you can't be worse than Ederson. You can't be worse than Ederson, that's my take on it. Ederson in the past, because when you say you can't be worse than Ederson, people will go say, Ederson did this in the treble season. Yeah, okay, we're 2025. In 2006, the best goalkeeper in the world was Buffon. I'm sure none of you will take Buffon right now as your starting goalkeeper. None of you will take current Buffon. In the same vein, Stuart Ederson was good in the past. Now he is not. You can't. He is actually so bad. You can't be a downgrade from what he was last season. So I don't mind. Either we get him in, and he's great, or we get him in. He's better than Ederson. Not quite the level we wanted, and Donnarumma is on a free. Because next season Donnarumma is on a free. So if we get him in, he's not what we wanted. Out the door, bring in Donnarumma. It's that simple. You can bring in a player for 1 season to improve your squad, and if he doesn't improve it enough and it's better out there, you can immediately get them out and bring in an even better version. So, of course, it's preferable to get the best player out there, in this case Donnarumma. But what if you can't? What if you can't get Donnarumma until next season? Are you gonna buy a shitty goalkeeper to improve Ederson? Or are you going to take a risk with Trafford? He may be great, he may not be great. It's a risk. I would rather take the risk, coin toss, where if he ends up turning good, you have a good goalkeeper, you no longer need to worry about that. If he doesn't turn good, oh well, you sell him off and get Donnarumma on a free. Honestly, I'm not concerned about whether Trafford is good enough to start for us. I'm concerned if he's better than Ederson and Ortega, which I do believe he is from what people tell me. Again, I've not watched him, I can't say. But from what people tell me, I do believe he is. That's enough for 1 season, when next season Donnarumma again comes on the table. Today was the draw of Champions League 3rd round, qualifying round, against those 2 teams. Feyenoord, Fenerbahce. I guess it's the Champions League qualifier that's been drawn. Good about you. I'm doing great as well. Thank you for asking. Jules Kounde from Barcelona. You're having a look. We'll talk about that in a moment. Yeah. Nah, that's not happening, let's be honest. Especially on form there in the World Cup season. Goalkeeper-wise, is that what you mean? Yeah. Do you remember Kounde, Rosa at Watch Long? I don't. Inter Milan, Barcelona. Remember Kounde? I don't. Can't understand the people saying Trafford is a downgrade on current Ederson. Let's talk about that right now. So, Man City are yet to receive a you guys can read this yourself. Basically, we don't have an offer yet, but they're talking. I hope you can read. If you can't, skill issue. But yeah, there you go. Let me make it bigger for you guys. In fact, let me make it even bigger. There you go. Oh, there. Now you can't see it. There you go. You still can't see it. That's bullshit. Finally. There you go. In case you can't read it yourself. So, yeah. I'm not too worried about that. So usually, when you want to sign a player, you will talk to the player before you tell the club your bid. You don't make a bid for the player before talking to the player. Because I know uh, on FIFA career mode, right? You go to the club, you buy the player, then you go make the signing with the player. That's how it works on FIFA, right? But that's not actually how it works. In real life, they will talk to the player, get the agreement first, and then they'll talk to the club. There's no point talking to a club if the player doesn't want to come. So this is completely normal. It's completely normal that they're still talking to Ederson. If Ederson agrees something with Galatasaray, I reckon in the next week, maybe even this week, you could see a bit. Depends on how quickly Ederson and Galatasaray agree something. If they agree anything at all. Anyhow, let's go back to this. That is ugly. This one. This looks ugly, doesn't it? I mainly use this when I do spreadsheet. Which I do quite a lot on this channel, actually. Rashford to Barcelona. Yeah, that, bro. Crazy word. Current Ederson could not save a single shot or kick a ball in the tournament. I keep saying it. He passes the ball sideways, so great on him, I suppose. What was your best memory at Jan Breidel? I don't know. Prediction Antwerp Union. I don't like that, like, best memory stuff. Like, what is your best memory of Man City? Like, bro. You watch so much stuff, in it? Oh, by the way, 2-1 Antwerp. 2-1 Antwerp. You watch so much football, in it? It's difficult to keep up with that stuff. Like, if you say what's your best memory of City, you could say, well, winning the treble. You could say Aguero moments for some obvious ones. You could say a personal one, like maybe De Bruyne scoring against Chelsea, because it's a big fuck you to Chelsea. But there's still much to choose from. I don't do that type of stuff. Jules, there wasn't really a right back. He's a centre back. You mean Kounde? I think he's better as a right back, though. This is where people get it wrong, right? Why did you all play as a striker in the academy? Haaland played as a winger in the academy. That doesn't mean that that's your best position. Your best position is where you are best. Not where you've played in the past, not where you started, but where you are best. Pep Guardiola converting centre backs to full backs, pure centre backs to full backs, is not the same as a manager noticing someone playing as centre back who's actually better at right back. He works better at right back because he's closer to his man. A centre back is supposed to lay off a bit. Kounde doesn't lay off, he's very close to his man when he defends. That is not what a centre back does. So he may have played as a centre back initially, but that's not where he played best, and he didn't defend properly for a centre back. He defended in a way that is more suited to a right back. So I would say Kounde is better as a right back, but we'll talk about him in a moment too. Anderlecht Charleroi are playing midweek. Why's that? When is the World Cup season? I mean, it's now, I guess. I guess this season is the World Cup season. The season is big unless your country does not qualify. Even if your country doesn't qualify, it's kind of big. 3 type of roles at watch long. I don't remember, to be honest. Because he's a championship team player. Who knows if he will be as good, but would you take championship player replacement for any other position in City team? Well. Would I take a centre back from League 1 I've never watched? Maybe not in the past. That is who we are getting in Husnov, and who we are rating very highly. Man City used to buy only internationals. Peter Hayes, not international. Husnov. He was an international before the game, I believe, but still, not of a big nation. Nobody knew about him. Dangerous. Okay, he's maybe decent. Before he came to City, because let's be honest, that's his breakthrough season at AC Milan. That was just his breakthrough season. So, maybe not, but at some point you got to get at some point you've got to get a player, and if you can't get the better ones, you've got to settle for the worse. And Trafford is an upgrade to Ederson, in my opinion. We're gonna surprise in the Premier League this season. Way too early to say, but I keep saying Sunderland because they're looking great in the window right now. Carson left as was considering going to championship to prolong his career. That's fair. That says nothing about the quality of Trafford. I've not watched him. I don't know. That's my honest opinion. I haven't watched him. I don't know. Man United are looking to buy Senna Lammens. Is he gonna be good enough? I don't know. I've watched him a lot, Senna Lammens, and I don't know if he'll be that good. Sometimes a player makes a step up. Listen, it's happened before where players come from small teams to big leagues. If it didn't happen, big leagues won't have any players, would they now? Man City used to buy the players ready-made. Now we're buying some ready-made players, and we're buying some younger players. Some players who aren't ready-made, maybe to avoid the expensive prices. Whether that's good enough, I suppose that's for you to judge, I suppose. Nicky High in masterclass against Union yesterday. Not really, we looked very exposed. He did fix up in the second half, but we looked very exposed in the first half. Jules Kounde. Right, let me get through this goalkeeper news first, and then we'll talk about Jules Kounde. So, Galatasaray, he's probably leaving to Galatasaray. Oh, sorry, Galatasaray twice. Ederson is probably leaving to Galatasaray. And here is why. There was some news about Diogo Costa, a 60 million bid. If you haven't seen this yet, it was allegedly a 60 million bid for Diogo Costa, who was, I mean, he's obviously the big transfer story that everyone's talking about, but it's not happening. How do I know it's not happening? Well, let me show you. Because it's been confirmed. False. And this is at last where we get to the interesting story. The biggest news of this stream. I waffled long enough. We are there. We are here. Trafford is the name. Says big up Fabrizio Romano. That's the real big fab here. Trafford is the name. Man City holds no interest in Diogo Costa from Porto. Why would Fabrizio Romano be pushing Trafford like this if there was nothing in it? Trafford does not come in if he's not the starting goalkeeper. The reason he left Man City is to be the starting goalkeeper. Because he didn't want to sit on the bench. Not coming in to sit on the bench. He's just not. Coming in to start. If Fabrizio is really pushing this Trafford thing, there you go. There you go. Looks like we're maybe getting Trafford. Would be lovely. Yeah, I do think we're getting Trafford. And as I've said earlier in this stream, you can't be a downgrade from Ederson. You just can't be a downgrade from what Ederson is right now. Trafford, it doesn't matter how good or bad he is. It matters what potential he has within the span of one season. If that potential is better than Ederson and Ortega, which it should be, then that's good enough for the now. And then we can see at the end of the season, is this good enough for the next season? Is he good enough for the next season to play for the Man City? If yes, you have your ready-made goalkeeper, £40 million, maybe even less. If no, it's easy, isn't it? You go buy a ready-made goalkeeper somewhere else, or Donnarumma becomes available. It's that easy. People stress too much about Trafford. Let's put it this way. Would you rather have an old goalkeeper who's not playing good, who's getting worse, or a young goalkeeper, you've no idea how good he is, who's only going to get better? What's preferable? I think it's very obvious. Preferable is the young goalkeeper who's getting better even though you don't know how good he is. And fair enough. If he's not good enough, get rid, get the better guy. And if you could, go get the better guy now. Go get the Donnarumma now. Go get the I don't know who now. I don't know. And name a goalkeeper, I don't really know any right now. Mike McNaughton, go get that right now. Sure, I will be fine with that. But if they're not gonna be able to do that, because they don't want to come or the club doesn't want to sell, tough luck. Like, tough luck. If nobody wants to sell to you, skill issue. You can't get the top goalkeepers if nobody wants to sell to top goalkeepers. I think people sometimes forget how difficult goalkeeper is as a position. Let me put it this way. We want a Premier League proven goalkeeper. Name one goalkeeper in the Premier League who's good enough for Man City. One goalkeeper in the entire Premier League who's good enough for Man City starting player. There's none. Man City doesn't have a goalkeeper who's good enough. Liverpool, with Alisson, has a goalkeeper who used to be good enough, but isn't anymore. For the rest, there is none. There is none. So you have to go to La Liga. Courtois, forget it. The guy who went to Barcelona, well, he just signed for Barcelona, the Johan Garcia guy. So you need to be able to buy the goalkeeper. So you go to Bundesliga. I don't know any outstanding goalkeepers there. If there's no one available, you've got to buy someone who's a bit worse. It's that simple. That's how goalkeepers have always been. There's not as many goalkeepers out there, especially starting goalkeepers, as there's outfield players. Because you've got 11 outfield players, you've got way more substitutions with outfield players. Goalkeepers, same one starts every game of the season, isn't it? Anyhow, let's get through chat here. Oh, Jesus, chat. Ajax is gonna play in the Como Cup. Okay. It will be interesting to see how Pep sets up. I hope with a younger midfield. Oh, big up to Rosa. Let me pin this comment quick. Pin this comment. The Seal is not doing his job today, so Rosa is carrying instead. Very cool. Like and subscribe as always, as Rosa is saying. Europa League qualifiers. And UEFA Conference League qualifiers tomorrow. Where is the Seal? Not in here, clearly. Hit the bell, people. Subscribe. Send a Lammens against Genk Super Cup. Jesus, you're going way back there. Smash the likes to Alf. Get Alf to 15. He's a legend. Big up to Liam as well. It was 3-2 Barcelona win against Madrid. Barcelona fans want him to stay as long as possible. Kounde? Yeah. Kounde is a proper good player. I don't think we'll get him. Spoiler. Tomorrow, Euro Women. Finally, we get some views back on this channel. Women, they pump out the views, bro. What do you think of Ludovic Rey's debut against Union? I liked it. I think he played very well. I think he was the second best player on the pitch. Or well, for Club Brugge. I think the best player was actually Niang for Union. But behind that was second best player was, I think, Zolis. And then, I think, Ludovic Reis. What is a Carl Walker? I mean, he's finally gone. Let's stop talking about him. Stankovic race to Club Brugge. Is that true? Het is nog niet zeker, maar ik denk wel dat het zal gebeuren. Ray or Alisson? Alisson. Ederson is far better than any keeper we've been linked to. It's not. Statistically, he's the worst goalkeeper in the Club World Cup. Statistically speaking, he's the worst goalkeeper in the Club World Cup. He is so bad. He is generally so bad right now. Big up to Earl Hickey, by the way. I think you're new here. I don't understand how people can rate him. I'm on the complete opposite side. You don't understand how people don't see the importance. I don't understand what people see in him. I think people maybe have this idea that losing Ederson will completely lose the style of play and lose the passing out from the back. I disagree. Honestly, I don't think it will make that big of an impact. And long balls up the pitch, I'm not too concerned, to be honest. Because those long balls, they only make up for our lack of central creation. It's Phil Foden coming back, Echeverri being on the bench, unless he gets loaned out. Which, by the way, you get in TRAFFORD, you don't have to loan out Echeverri. So it's Echeverri in the middle, Foden in the middle, Aitnouri at left back, who's going to create a lot, and a right winger and Sherky. I really don't think he brings us anything. His passing has gotten worse, by the way, and I know he got 2 assists, but that's isolated moments, and both times, honestly, the defense was poor. So yeah, he got 2 assists last season, but he probably caused us to concede more. Every shot is a goal. Really, every shot is a goal. Man City fans, you remember the treble, where he made 2 saves. Shot from Lautaro Martinez straight at him, and headed from Lukaku straight at him. Both of those saves, Man City fans don't expect Ederson to make it, so they think they're great saves. But those are saves I expect Dean Henderson to. And Dean Henderson isn't particularly great. So I think Man City fans maybe forget what a great shot stopper is. And I'm not saying that insultingly, because your standards change depending on what you see, right? Your standards for a goal scorer go up when you see Erling Haaland week in, week out. Your standards for a shot stopper, this is just natural, go down when you see 4 shot stopper week in, week out. So Ederson, has he had his time at us? Sure. The way he passed the ball was very influential back when it was effective. Against teams that weren't used to high-pressing football, against Premier League teams that could not cope very well with playing out from the back. I don't think that's as effective now, with Premier League teams pressing better, playing out from the back better, being more press-resistant themselves, and with Premier League teams just being more comfortable off the ball, really. Both on and off the ball, Premier League teams are more comfortable. Premier League football used to be ping-pong, where the ball just used to be shot up and down the pitch. Nowadays, it's a lot more controlled, and Premier League teams are way more comfortable with that, due to the influence of Ederson, Shorty, and Guardiola. But modern football is seeing a trend where we're going away again from these highly technically gifted goalkeepers that were popular a few years ago. So, I respectfully, I don't agree. 4 transfers of summer Club Brugge. Still need more, to be honest. He's great and Pep loves him. Pep also loves Kyle Walker and did not want Kyle Walker to leave. Pep, I mean, if we're going to use Pep's opinion as the cornerstone of greatness here, Pep Guardiola did not want Walker to leave. Walker left because he was getting abused on the internet, which is bad, by the way. Don't abuse players. Walker left of his own violation. Pep wanted him to stay. So, of course, Pep is a great manager, but he's not always right. Especially when it comes to his veterans who are getting old. Because it's wrong with Bernardo Silva. I think he should have left after the 4-peat. I said we should have gotten Olise. I said Bernardo is washed. Everyone said no, he isn't washed. Now everyone hates him. That's what happens when you hold on to your legends too long. I don't think Pep Guardiola is always right. Shocker, Pep Guardiola is not perfect. No one is perfect. So, like, this is what you call an argument from authority, right? So an argument from authority is when you take a single individual who's an expert in a field and use their opinion as the baseline. But what you should really do is look at multiple experts in that same field and look at what they think as a consensus. The consensus right now in the Premier League is to move away from distributing goalkeepers and to move towards shot-stopping goalkeepers. That's the consensus right now in the Premier League. So if you want to look at authority figures, you need to look at the consensus, not the individual opinion. Of course, consensus can be wrong, and individual opinion can triumph, but then the consensus will change if that is the case. Because that's how consensus works. Consensus changes upon new information. For you to use authority figures as, well, an argument though, or as a support of your claim, you need to use the consensus, in my opinion. Today, Belgium Nations Day. Yeah. I saw that fucking, what's her name? The princess. Fuck's sake, what is her name? The bastard. 1 second, let me look this up. This is actually annoying me. Belgian princess bastard. Here we go. That is her name. Delphine. The fucking bastard. Bro? Why we got a bastard running around here? Pretending like she's the big shit. Why did they give her a baroness title to begin with, bro? Like, yeah, the king can't keep it in his fucking pants. Who gives a fuck? Like, she takes the piss out of me, bro. She's going up there in a pink... Oh, it's not really pink. I guess it's kind of pink. Pinkish red. Something like that. She's going up there in a fancy fucking dress. Sitting with the fucking king. Bro, the crown princess wasn't there. Why are we taking the piss here, bro? We are taking the piss. Bro, she pisses me off. She actually pisses me off. Jose Mourinho against Robin van Persie. Feyenoord Fenerbahce. Oh yeah, Van Persie is Feyenoord manager, isn't he? I forgot about that. Trafford doesn't scream league winning and Champions League quality. But neither does Ederson. So, sure, you may be right upon that. Again, Trafford is a gamble. Trafford is a gamble. But if Trafford is not good enough, you sell him off and you get in someone better. Young players are easy to sell off. Because you tell them you're not gonna play, they're gonna panic. Old players, they'll happily sit on the bench. They've had their career. Lucas Chevalier or Trafford. I would have Chevalier. In a heartbeat, I would have Chevalier. Over Trafford. But we're not gonna get him. So, it's not like FIFA where you can get whoever you want. And I know people hate when you say it's not like FIFA. But if Chevalier is not an option, if Diogo Costa is not an interest, because I assume the club decided he's not good enough, if Donnarumma is not available right now, and you really don't think that Ederson is good enough even to bridge a season? I mean, do I need to say the words? I don't think I do. Belgian politics is head loss. He was not the best player in that final. Both the shots were straight at him. I expect Dean Henderson to make those saves. I expect Dean Henderson to make those saves, and that was 2 years ago. I will not take Buffon at Man City right now. Buffon right now is old, washed, and shit. That's what Buffon is right now if he played pro football. Doesn't take away that he was the greatest of all time at one point. But now he's old. That is 19 years ago that Buffon was the best goalkeeper in the world. Now he's just old. Ederson, sure, treble season he was okay, shot-stopping wise. Made 2 saves that he should have really made. I expect average Premier League goalkeeper, or above average Premier League goalkeepers to make those saves. So sure, important saves to make. I expect him to make those saves. Get it. Paid enough to him. Those 2 saves, which happened 2 years ago, can't keep him in a job now. This is where I sometimes envy Chelsea fans. Chelsea really don't give a fuck about their players, do they? In a positive way. Do you think his form maybe felt unloved? Sorry, let me reread that. I'm completely reading this wrong. Do you think he's maybe felt unloved and his form dipped because of the abuse and stuff? Well, that's possible. But I don't think that's the reason. Because his form dipped well before the abuse started. Abuse is terrible, no matter... you can't justify abuse of another human being. You really can't. And people who try, you're a really shitty person, I can't lie. If you're gonna try to justify the abuse of a human being, sending them death threats, if you're gonna try to justify that to me, just unsubscribe, bro. I'm not here to hear people justifying death threats to wives, to children, to... the players themselves. I'm not here to justify that. It's a terrible thing to happen to players, and it will affect them mentally. It will make them worse. Or it can make them worse. Some players will just ignore it, I suppose, but most of the time, it will shake players. However, with that said, I do think his form was dipping before the abuse even happened. So I don't think that that's the main cause. Speaking about Chelsea, Mudryk is still suspended. Aren't they planning to sell him anyhow? Look how people praised Ortega after the Spurs save. But he deserved praise. That is the thing. If his ego is so fragile that he can't handle Ortega stepping up and receiving well-deserved praise, honestly, that's just baby mentality. No offense, yeah? If you can't handle your colleague receiving praise that is well-deserved, even though you're still clearly the favorite for the #1 spot next season, that's terrible mentality. As a professional, you have to just say, hey, Ortega, you won us the Premier League. You won me the Premier League. If I'm Ederson, I'm saying, Ortega, I got injured and you held it up for me. You won us the Premier League when I couldn't do it. Thank you. You deserve your praise. But I'm still the #1 and I'm going to go on that pitch and I'm going to prove it. That is, if he felt unloved and his quality dipped because of that, I would honestly say that's pathetic. I'm sorry, but I would say that's pathetic. To be honest. Mentally, I think that's pathetic. Again, that doesn't justify any abuse to the player, but that's not the mentality I want from a champion. And I don't think that's the mentality Ederson has. I think Ederson's mentality is higher than that. I think he's more competitive, more strong-minded. Or at least I would... Oh, sorry, did I say Ortega? Obviously, I meant Ederson. I think he's better than that. But if that's really the reason, honestly, like his form starts to dip at the end of 23-24. I think it was... I think he was bad throughout 23-24, to be honest. Or, well, not bad, but worse than the treble season. I think from start of... or from the end of the treble, his form started to gradually dip all the way to the end of the season. It's been a steady decline. It's not been a sudden overnight thing. It's been a steady decline. But it was still good enough in the 4-beat season, I think. But now that decline has continued. And now with the abuse, maybe the abuse has accelerated it even further, which is very unfortunate. But the truth is, if his decline is really just continuing down this trend and there's no sign of coming back up, he has to go. Excuse me. Official, Matteo Retegui leaves Atalanta. Where's he going? That's interesting. Anyhow, McAtee. So, earlier, Man City. So, let's just read this and let me say what I interpret this to mean. Interested parties, that means other clubs who want to buy, were told by Man City that James McAtee was available for £25 million. But Man City have reevaluated that and are now looking for more. I don't know. This seems sloppy. Let's think this way, right? I'm a card salesman. You come up to me. You're talking to me about that, I don't know. Classic card model. I don't know. Well, let's see here. There you go. I am selling you this card. Mercedes-Benz I'm not even going to try to read that. I'm selling you a Mercedes-Benz Tamiya 243 338. There you go. And you come up to me and I say 50,000. 50,000 for this Mercedes. And then you say, okay, I'll meet you at 50k. And then I say, no, 60k. And now you're gonna slap me across the face, aren't you? When you say, my price for my selling price for this car is 50,000. Someone comes and gives you 50,000, and you say I want 60,000. Honest to God, you're a cunt. I can't lie, you're a cunt. So applying that same logic to Man City Football Club, this is poor. This is unprofessional. You don't tell other clubs you can buy McAtee for this much and then change your mind. If you were gonna re-evaluate the value of this player, if you weren't sure about what you were selling him at, don't tell other clubs £25 million is enough. Don't tell them that if you're gonna change your mind. This to me is bad by Man City. It's sloppy, it's unprofessional, it's disrespectful to the clubs who are trying to buy him. It's woeful. Again, imagine the car salesman. I am selling you this car 50k, then you give me the 50k and I say I want 60k. It's bad business. It's bad business. It's bad salesmanship. So, from Man City, if this is true, which, by the way, I don't know how good of a source this is, but if this is true, that's sloppy. But for the sake of keeping my sanity, I'll assume it's fake, because I don't know how good that source is. I think it all comes back to the Spurs game. Yes, Ortega should be praised. It wasn't over the top. It wasn't over the top. He won us the league title. No, it's not over the top. He won us the league title with that save. He deserves all the praise he got, and more. When you make a save like that wins the league title, you deserve all the praise. Ederson got that praise a year earlier when he won us the treble. A real man taps his boots. Thank you, Ortega. You go thank him. Thank you for the title, but I'm better than you, and I'm gonna prove it next season on the pitch, and you prove it. It's not over the top. It's not a slap in the face. It's something Ederson should be thankful for, because he got the medal for it. He got the medal for what... Ederson got the medal for what Ortega did in that Spurs game when he went off injured. We should go thank Ortega, and then go on the pitch and prove that he's still better. I don't agree with over the top. When a player wins you the league title, no praise is enough. You can't praise a player who wins you the league title enough. You just can't. Sorry, I didn't even read this. Unprofessionalism is lazy kind of business. Anyhow, the Livramento news. I suppose we'll round up on the Livramento news. Let me just say, cool, but fake. So, this was about 2 hours apart, I believe. Hours apart. Wait, this was earlier. Oh, it's there. I've got the chronological order wrong. There you go. Newcastle will offer Livramento more money to Ward of Man City. Man City was coming in for £65 million. What ended up happening is, I'm assuming Livramento accepted the deal with Newcastle. Man City gave up. Livramento signed a new deal, I'm guessing, or agreed to one, and we're looking elsewhere. Now this comes out. Man City have made inquiries about Jules Kounde, who has been negotiating for several weeks now on a deal, contracted until 2027. He's very good. Kounde is very, very good. People disrespect him. I don't get it. I really don't. Kounde, well, I'm gonna say something wild. Kounde comes into this Man City team. He's our best defender. People underrate him so hard. People don't rate fullbacks who defend. I don't get it. Fullback who defends is so good. He can still go forward, Kounde, but he defends like a fucking he defends like a dirty bastard. He will fix so many problems at our back post, on our counters. Such a good defender, in my opinion. Maybe best defender at Man City will be a bit over the top, but that is over the top, but he will be such a good defender. I don't get why people disrespect him. But it's not happening. Exactly for the reason of how good he is, it's not happening. There's no way I see Barcelona letting Kounde go. If Barcelona lets Kounde go, with anything less than 100 million, I'm sorry, Barcelona is clowns. Like, let me tweet that out. Let me tweet it out. Because anything I tweet is true, of course. If Barcelona lets him go for less than 100 million euros, so 100 euros, pounds. There you go. There you go. That's how many pounds it is. For the British pounds. And I hate having a fucking mechanical keyboard. It's fucking completely different. Oh, fuck's sake. I knew for a little while how to type it. There you go. I found it back. There you go. There you go. Beautiful. That is my opinion on Kounde. I don't think it's happening. I would love him. Don't think it's happening. Exactly because I think it's too good to be true, right? Too good to be true. Oh, right, this news. I completely forgot about this. Right then. So, hands up if you think this is bullshit. If you think this is bullshit, hands up. There you go. So, right. Real Madrid is linked to every Ballon d'Or winner ever. They were linked to Lionel Messi. Did you know that? When Lionel Messi won the Ballon d'Or the first time, Real Madrid was linked to him. Or he was linked to Madrid, I guess. Anyhow, not happening. It's just not happening. Think about this, yeah? Think about this. I want you close your eyes, and put yourself in Rodri's place, as I tell you to follow him. Biggest night of your life. A week ago, you got an email. Or a letter, I'm not really. You were informed. You have won Ballon d'Or. You are officially recognized as the best player in world football. You go to the Ballon d'Or. You receive your award. A single Real Madrid representative is present. They claim the award is fraudulent. They claim that you don't deserve it. 2 years later, not even 2 years later, 1 year later, they come in. They want you. Think about that. Think about that story arc. Put yourself in that place. If I am Rodri, I am right now going to write a handwritten letter from Rodri to Real Madrid. I don't know. Whatever their fucking address is. I don't know. Gabi Alonso. I don't really. Infantino. Dear Infantino. Kindly fuck off. There you go. Yours truly, Rodri, Ballon d'Or winner, unlike Vini. There you go. Florentino Perez is crazy. Nah, bro, he's Real Madrid's president. Saudi. Wow. Bro's chasing back. I respect it. I respect it. Wow. Going to Saudi. There you go. Yeah, this is as false as Rodrigo to Barcelona. Or Haaland to Barcelona. He played for Atletico Madrid. Let's be honest, Atletico are the little bitch club of Real Madrid. So that's fine, but it's not happening. Rodri, write your letter. Go fuck yourself, Infantino Perez. I'm gonna do my stuff. Anyhow, I've been waffling for a little time here now. To quickly go over all the news. Livramento is done. Not happening. Man City have pulled out. Better pull out game than Phil Foden. Here we go. So yeah, it's not happening. Kounde on, not happening either, in my honest opinion. I just think it's so good to be true. I would love Kounde, but I just think it's too good to be true. Other than that, a few boring stories were linked to Diogo Costa for like 1 hour, and now we're not anymore. Possibly board business with McAtee, that's unconfirmed. And most importantly, of everything I've talked about today, at least in my opinion, is James Trafford with that Fabrizio Romano comment. I've not bookmarked it, and I closed my tab already, so I can't find it back if you're wondering what I'm doing here. I'm trying to find it back, but I didn't bookmark it, so I'm not going to bother looking for it now. But Fabrizio Romano just straight up went to City Extra and commented, James Trafford is the name. Straight up, commented on City Extra, James Trafford is the name. So, I like to believe that Fabrizio confirmed James Trafford with that. So I suppose that will be it for me. Big up to everyone in here. Big up to Adam. Who are you rating? Bro, nobody's live. Nobody's live. Oh, you know what? LB is live. Let's rate LB. There we go. We're gonna take the piss. Alfred. Guys, Alfred. Stick in here. You'll automatically be redirected. Put that in chat. And I'll see you guys on the next one.